desencana com passo bem solto, passo bem solto, passo bem solto. Ela chega e desencana com passo bem solto, passo bem solto.
$675,000 Clinton emails when they got Anthony Weiner's laptop in a search warrant because of all his sex perversion issues. It was all the Clinton emails, the Clinton Foundation, her Secretary of State emails, Huma Abedin's emails. Lots of people emailed Huma as a proxy for Hillary. So one of the things, if I were the president, I'd do is demand the Anthony Weiner laptop and get it to the most trusted person in the military to take apart everything on it and then start using it. There's a lot that can be prosecuted, I have no doubt, on that laptop. In fact, I heard that the New York police officers who saw some of it, even though they're hardened investigators, literally had to go throw up. It's bad.
Somebody sent it to me. I would not advise you to have a look at it. She and her spokeswoman, they put a 5-year-old girl naked on a table, bind it, and then with a scalpel they start to remove the face.
Oh my God.
And you hear this child screaming, and they take off the face, and Hillary Clinton puts it on her face and goes to the child. And you see, the child is all flesh, and then the eyes pour out, and this child sees her own face on the face of Clinton. I will never forget that image, and never the scream. That's how evil these people are.
I'm calling Twitch so we can talk about Game of Games tonight.
Have any of you actually discovered who this guy is yet? And I'm not talking about Jay-Z. I'm talking about this guy right here. A lot of celebrities have his art. And some celebrities idolize him so much they spend millions of dollars on his artwork and his hairstyles too. This is Jean-Michel Basquiat, the boyfriend of Madonna before the world even knew her name. And it kind of made me wonder why certain celebrities idolize him so much. For example, like his three-pointed crown, which was Chris Rock's first tattoo at the age of 55, in which LeBron James jumped in on that too. Same for P. Diddy and Dave Bautista. And it made me wonder why Hollywood finds Basquiat's artwork more unique than anyone else's. For one, articles state that he was a medium, a magician. His mission was nothing less than the restoration of powerful spiritual function to art, a channeling of the eternal through the ephemeral. Articles state that Basquiat was a scion of Haiti. He knows the lowest, the Haitian gods, and he knows what they sound like on a jazz record. He can hear Urzili when she's speaking through the clarinet, and he understands the relationship between possession on the dance floor that the gods are in the music. And I find it extremely coincidental that P. Diddy has a massive back tattoo of Urzili or Azili Dantor on his back. They're pretty spot on, I'd say. And how ironic is it that Madonna depicts Alizé as well, right down to the heart. Many celebrities own his art, especially Ellen. And believe me, she has many.
One of the most bitterly debated subjects in classical archaeology is whether or not the Carthaginians, an ancient civilization in North Africa, killed their children for their gods. Evidence for the worship of Moloch is found in the Old Testament, with variant names Molech, Melech, and Baal, meaning Lord, and also the Phoenician theonym for Moloch is MLK. If the classical reports are accurate, Moloch represents a deity or symbology associated with child sacrifice and is fervently despised in the Old Testament. No archaeological or historical evidence states Moloch or any of his variant names resemble an owl. Rabbinical tradition depicted Moloch as a bronze statue with the head of a bull and a large human body where victims were thrown into fire. The Canaanite deity has also been drawn and referred to as Kronos due to the parallel mytheme of the Titan god devouring his children. The ritualistic intimations of Baal and Moloch have existed for thousands of years, with modern reimaginings depicting the idol as a machine. Other controversial interpretations can be found in the origins of Freemasonry, as revealed in the Royal Arch Degree in the Rituals of Exaltation. The name of the great architect of the universe is a trinity of words, Ja-Bulan, translating to Yahweh, Baal, and Osiris, the ancient Egyptian god of fertility, resurrection, and the underworld. In Tunisia, just outside Jerusalem, children were said to have been sacrificed to Baal by being, quote, passed through fire in an area called a Tophet. According to Rashi, the single most influential commentator of the Middle Ages, the massive statue of, quote, Molech, which was of copper, and they would heat it up from underneath with its hands spread out, and they would place the child on his hands, and he would be burnt and mown, and the priests would beat drums so the father should not hear his son's voice and take pity, end quote. It's pertinent to understand the Hebrew Bible referred to Moloch worship as Canaanite idolatry, straying away from Judaism. The quotes from Leviticus are clear. But the religion of Carthage in North Africa managed to continue the Canaanite ritual. With several modifications, they birthed what the Jewish virtual library called the Cult of Moloch, creating the largest Tophet ever discovered, covering almost 4 miles with 9 descending levels. Rabbinical tradition stated, quote, the body of Moloch was hollow, divided into 7 compartments. In one, which they put flour. In the 2nd through 6th, they put animals. And in the 7th, a child, which were all burned together by heating the statue inside. But in 1923, French-led excavations at Carthage found some 20,000 burials containing cremated infant and animal bones kept in urns, inscribed with dedications to Baal and the Phoenician theonym for Moloch. They discovered long genealogical pedigrees signifying noble families, with one lineage stretching back 16 generations, suggesting the ritual was, quote, an elite practice. The University of Oxford published a study of the findings, concluding the Greek and Roman accounts were true, and not, as modern scholars believed, propaganda. They also reaffirmed previous analyses that because the ritual was so expensive, only the wealthiest and most powerful in Carthage could have practiced it. The cult of Moloch was real, an unspeakable evil carried out by wealthy humans while their society was flourishing. An author of the study said, quote, we should not imagine that ancient people thought like us and were horrified by the same things. But remember, the Greeks and the Romans were just as appalled then as we are now. Even many animals have an unquenchable desire for the safety of their offspring. And with the cult of Moloch substantiated, it would seem that anyone knowledgeable of its horror would react with abhorrence and disgust. And with most of the world having no idea about this, why then, or how then, does Hillary Clinton know about Moloch?
The footage found on Anthony Weiner's laptop caused some of the most hardened NYPD officers to weep, vomit, and seek psychological help.
And they didn't look at a fraction of the emails on Anthony Weiner's laptop.
So who is Anthony Weiner again? You know, this guy and this guy. things seem to be going pretty great for Anthony. A congressman himself, he was married to Huma Abedin, an American political staffer who was vice chair of Hillary Clinton's 2016 campaign for president of the United States. Abedin seemed to be a sure thing for a Clinton White House. Of course, that was before police began to investigate her husband Anthony, who was ultimately sentenced to 21 months in federal prison for an illicit online contact with a 15-year-old girl. During its investigation, the FBI found over 15,000 emails on a private email server of Hillary Clinton's. Here's the document showing the seizure of the laptop.
So one of the things, if I were the president, I'd do is demand the Anthony Weiner laptop and get it to the most trusted person in the military to take apart everything on it and then start using it. There's a lot that can be prosecuted, I have no doubt, on that laptop.
So what all was found on this laptop? Well, the NYPD source says that the Weiner laptop has enough evidence to put Hillary away for life. It said that these emails include evidence linking Clinton herself and associates to money laundering, child exploitation, sex crimes with minors, perjury, pay to play through the Clinton Foundation, obstruction of justice, and other felony crimes. It's worth noting that this is not the first time the Clintons have been tied to crimes involving exploitation of children. Remember Laura Silsby, who was convicted of child trafficking? And how about this guy? You know, this guy and this guy. Internet sleuths discovered apparent evidence of pedophile code words being used in emails from John Podesta released by WikiLeaks. This was in November of 2016. Hillary Rodham Clinton, just when we think it can't get any worse with some of these corruptions we've heard about her, apparently there was a hidden file on Weiner's laptop with a video in it entitled Insurance Policy. Understand, this is no longer a conspiracy. There were a total of 12 individuals who saw this video, and 9 of those 12 people are dead now.
What the hell's going on here?
So far this year, there have been 9 NYPD suicides, 7 since June. Last year, there were a total of 4.
The video is described as pure evil. Now, this is my final warning before I go into detail describing this video. The bad video is of Hillary, Huma, and a little girl. They are terrorizing the child. They filleted the child's face off while she was alive and put it on their faces to further terrorize the child. They were deliberately causing the child's body to release adrenochrome into the bloodstream so they could drink the blood when they bled her out in the satanic ritual sacrifice. This was what caused grown men to become extremely sick, and many needed to seek out psychological help after viewing it. The perpetrators all need to be hung by the neck until dead. These are very psychologically messed up murderers, vile, demented, and soulless demons. Multiple sources within the FBI and NYPD have confirmed the existence of this tape. And then, of course, recently, there's this.
In fact, I heard that the New York police officers who saw some of it, even though they're hardened investigators, literally had to go throw up. It's bad.
Because of Wienergate and the sexting scandal, the NYPD started investigating it. Through a subpoena, through a warrant, they searched his laptop and sure enough found those 650,000 emails. They found way more stuff than just the more information pertaining to the inappropriate sexting the guy was doing. They found State Department emails. They found a lot of other really damning criminal information, including money laundering, including the fact that Hillary went to this sex island with convicted pedophile Jeffrey Epstein. Bill Clinton went there more than 20 times. Hillary Clinton went there at least 6 times. The amount of garbage that they found in these emails of criminal activity by Hillary, by her immediate circle, and even by other Democratic members of Congress was so disgusting. They gave it to the FBI, and they said, we're going to go public with this if you don't reopen the investigation, and you don't do the right thing with timely indictments. NYPD was the first one to look at that laptop. Weiner and Huma Abedin, his wife, the closest advisor of Hillary Clinton for 20 years, have both flipped. And Huma Abedin, his wife, the closest advisor of Hillary Clinton for 20 years, have both flipped. Okay, they are cooperating.
This article from newsfromtheperimeter.com. Deaths become her. 9 out of 12 people who saw Anthony Weiner's laptop are dead. There were a total of 12 individuals who saw Anthony Weiner's laptop computer. 9 of those 12 people are dead now. Now that is a strange coincidence. Anthony Weiner is alive. Weiner shared the laptop with his estranged wife, Huma Abedin, a close aide to Hillary Clinton since 2000.
In fact, I heard that the New York police officers who saw some of it, even though they're hardened investigators, literally had to go throw up. It's bad.